Good morning and thanks for joining us on the Tuesday edition of TVC Breakfast. I am Veronica Danikboy and I am not here alone. I have Sam Omashe and Kelly Giga in the studio. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
It's another beautiful Tuesday morning.
Absolutely.
And so many things. It rained this morning, the showers, the weather was cold. And I almost slept off, actually, preparing for work. Because it was so cool.
Thank God for the alarm.
I mean, alarm has been saving us here in Lagos for only God knows when.
But so many things are happening over the media space, and one of the trending issues is NBA conference. And we saw that the presidential hopefuls for next year's election, 2023 election, were at the conference. And there's been so many things, so many conversations surrounding their appearance, their conversation, their statements, their plans. Some of them came up with their manifestos, so to speak, if I may say, use that word. But then we see the APC vice presidential hopeful being knocked on social media because of he came to represent the person of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and also because of the way he dressed. And I mean, what is that about Nigerians and their sentiments?
It is one of the vices of the social media that you have some people who have neither the knowledge of fashion nor the fashion of ideas. In today's Nigeria. And they think that they can now turn the subject for the electorate. It is a bar conference. It is an opportunity to speak about law and society. It's an opportunity to interrogate our history and also to project into the future. It is not a fashion show. And if anybody thinks that it is about a fashion show, then the person does not understand that there's poverty in the land. The person does not understand that there's insecurity in the country. The person does not understand that we are a country that has capsized our values. And if what shoes a person wears and the tenor of his suit is your own obsession, it is because you belong not to the mainstream of Nigerian problems, but you are somewhere a straggler in the world of non-entity. That's what it is. And to start with, the man gave the best speech yesterday. What Obi was talking about was genuine. It was actually repackaging what the progressives have been saying all these years. State police. He was talking about federalizing education. Education is federal already. What did you do when you were the governor of Anambra State? In fact, Chetima told him there, he said, Lagos has been such a great state that Obi has made Lagos his home rather than Oka, where he was governor. And that is a fact.
So it was more of a debate.
Instead of him to do that,
Yes.
and then they don't even know what good fashion is. They say you cannot wear sneakers in a suit. They belong to the 1970s or 1950s. Who say that?
I mean,
it's terrible.
people
wear
It's terrible how
sneakers
they don't
on
understand
suits.
what the world is.
But it was just them deviating from what the issues were.
I mean, in the country at this time. I mean, it's interesting to hear Sam say that because we now know that over the years things are changing. It's now becoming fashionable to wear a pair of suits and wear sneakers. It has now become fashionable to even wear traditional wears.
Yes.
With sneakers.
Sneakers.
Wedding gowns.
I mean, I have seen news anchors on CNN with suits wearing sneakers.
Yes.
So, for me,
I have worn sneakers to this show, for goodness sake.
absolutely.
I do that on a regular.
For me, that's not the problem.
That's not the issue.
We don't even care what these people wear or not. All we are after is a better country. As much as I'm not sure what exactly the NBA meant by putting all of them there and what the NBA wanted to achieve by doing that, because the campaigns are not open just yet. They're not open just yet.
It is an irony, It is an irony that a bar conference actually projects illegality.
Right.
Yeah. So that's for me. I was thinking about it. And I was like, the campaigns are not open just yet. But be that as it may, I saw Reno Mokri trending on social media, and he quoted Obi as saying that Obi is also articulated. There's a part where Peter Obi said even that Nigeria needs a leader who is articulated, who is confident, and who is articulated. And Reno Mokri picked that part and put it up and said, Peter Obi is also articulated. And so it also got Nigerians thinking, oh, what if along the line, Peter Obi probably collapses his structure?
Just playing on the sentiments of young Nigerians who are now riding on sentiments instead of focusing on the issues.
Yeah.
You know, having conversation around issues. For someone like that on social media, you know the following.
Yeah.
I believe you should project the issues rather than what a person is wearing or what a person has said that does not necessarily has to...
The other issue is the fact that people are also questioning why was Shettima there instead of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, for crying out loud.
It's not a campaign ground. It's representing his principal. The principal was not in the country.
I mean, if you over the years we've even questioned the fact that most deputies and vice presidents are figureheads or are just there and they are not being used, and then someone has presented his deputy or his vice presidential candidate to be at this event, is also being questioned.
By the way,
it's also being criticized.
By the way, this is NBA. Conference. There are other professions who have their annual conferences.
Absolutely.
If they want to make noise about it, the engineers will do the same thing. The medical doctors will do the same thing. The journalists or Guild of Editors will do the same thing. It will turn into a bazaar. That's what it turned to. But the point must be made that the Nigerian law elite created illegality by turning their conference into a campaign ground when it was not supposed to be. This should not be done again, or else the NBA ought to be sanctioned for creating an atmosphere for illegality.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I mean, when Shettima was there, he was talking about, and this is what they said, he was analyzing Asiwaju's background, and they called him the city boy. And he himself called himself the golden boy of Zenith, that nobody had risen in Zenith faster and applauded and given accolade in Zenith Bank in the history as he was given. They didn't look at all of those things.
That's why I said they were focusing on the minors.
Yes, because they
instead
couldn't
of
stand,
focusing on the major
issues.
The critical issues.
Yes.
Actually.
All right, let's quickly go for our news update at this time. And we begin with the NBA conference, where one issue that has formed major discussion in various quarters in Nigeria is the general election coming up next year. Now, this discussion took center stage at the Nigeria Bar Association's 62nd Annual General Conference in Lagos. Presidential candidates of some political parties addressed delegates on the topic Democratic Transitions in the 21st Century in Nigeria 2023 and beyond. Kemi Folademo has details.
Ahead of the much-anticipated session, the Nigerian Bar Association had insisted that its motive for selecting the presidential candidates to address the delegates wasn't meant to campaign for or endorse any of them.
No heckling, no clapping. No clapping. No clapping. Please, so that we can listen.
The NBA says it only presented an opportunity for the candidates to critically assess Nigeria's democratic journey since 1999, identify key challenges which have perennially bedeviled the polity, and evaluate sustainable solutions to them.
I've been in the theater of conflict for 18 years. I will lead the troops. My principal is an economic wizard who transformed Lagos into the third largest economy in Africa. He will concentrate on the economy. By God's grace, I will handle the security arm. Not only handle the security arm, I will lead the troops to battle across the length and breadth of this country.
Why can't we have state police and let everybody police the state, give the governors power to police their states and hold them responsible? That's number one. What is federal government doing with education? Why are they controlling education? Every state should be able to deal with their education. If you want to educate your people, We will support you, and you do that.
The speakers addressed issues of national concern, such as the economy, insecurity, education, and infrastructure.
It is only when you have a stable exchange rate that people like me who have factories will be able to access the foreign exchange to produce and therefore retain the labor force.
The only way we should expect swelling numbers at the polls is for all of us to exercise voter diligence. That is, by coming out and waiting patiently to vote at elections in 2023.
The Independent National Electoral Commission says the official campaign window for presidential candidates opens on September the 28th. Many believe the days preceding the general election, due from February to March 2023, will be a turning point for Nigeria. Kemi Foladiemo, TVC News, Lagos.